Like, nah, it's not gonna be that easy. So will Caitlin Clark be a good pro? Absolutely. Will Caitlin Clark come into the WNBA and do what she's doing right now immediately? Absolutely not. Not gonna happen.
Okay. Not on the right team.
Can you believe? With only one season of WNBA experience under her belt, Sheryl Swoopes managed to turn herself into a villain to an athlete less than half her age. How can a Hall of Famer destroy her own legacy because a new star shines brighter? This isn't just strange, it's downright embarrassing. Now that she's out of a job, humiliated, and seeing her fellow WNBA players turn against her as they support the very player she detested, Caitlin Clark. But wait, it gets worse. Sydney Colson just revealed something shocking about her time with the Las Vegas Aces, and A.A. Wilson, the WNBA's purported new face, is going crazy over the mayhem. Fasten your seatbelts, because we're going to blow it all apart. In addition to criticizing Caitlin Clark, Sheryl Swoopes went on a personal quest to discredit her for her frequent jabs and unspecial remarks. The eye-rolling at Clark's record-breaking performances became a habit, but the real question is why a three-time MVP and women's basketball pioneer would devote her life to disparaging a 22-year-old rookie. It's not as though Clark treated her disrespectfully or said, "Hey, I'm better than Swoops." No. When Caitlin Clark focused on her career, played ball, and became extremely good at it, it was enough to make an all-time great insecure, and that's when things went wrong. People noticed, fans noticed, the media noticed, players noticed, and all of a sudden, Sheryl Swoopes wasn't the legend. For long, the WNBA veterans held the line they refused to accept, and let's face it, nobody appreciates that she was the resentful veteran attempting to drag the ladder up behind her. Caitlin Clark pretended to be just another talented athlete, but then everything changed: the money, the ratings, and the endorsements. In addition to being a talented player, Caitlin Clark was the one who packed arenas and brought the WNBA to a new level of relevance. And guess what? That's when WNBA stars began openly defending Clark after months of silence. Some, like Angel Ree, kept the rivalry going, but others began talking. And then you guessed it, Sheryl Swoopes was left alone in the cold, because when it came down to it, WNBA stars wanted to be on the right side of history, and Sheryl, well, she was on the losing side. This isn't Sheryl Swoopes' his first time getting the boot before she made herself the biggest Caitlin Clark hater on the planet. She was already known for something far worse. She wasn't just criticized, she wasn't just unpopular, she was fired, permanently removed from her own job for being downright toxic. Let's take a little trip down memory lane, shall we? Back in 2016, Sheryl Swoopes wasn't just a retired WNBA legend. She was the head coach of the Loyola University Chicago women's basketball team, a big job, a respected position, a chance to inspire young athletes. So, what did she do? She turned the entire team into a battleground. Instead of coaching, she bullied. Instead of leading, she insulted. Instead of creating a team, she divided the players against each other. It got so bad that players were quitting left and right just to escape the nightmare. But it gets worse. The players didn't just leave, they spoke out. They revealed that Swoopes was openly insulting players, degrading them, and turning teammates against each other. One player reported that Swoopes mocked players for their personal struggles. Another said she created a cult of fear and intimidation. And when the investigation started, it was clear Loyola had no choice. She was permanently removed from her position after being kicked out of college basketball for being toxic. You'd think Sheryl Swoopes would learn something, right? Nope. She doubled down on the bitterness and set her sights on Caitlin Clark, a woman who was once a role model for young girls, turned into the pettiest, most envious person in the WNBA scene. And now she's fired again, this time by the WNBA community itself. Players are abandoning her. Fans don't respect her. And for what? They hated a 22-year-old rookie who just played amazing basketball. Sheryl Swoopes was a legend, but now she's a cautionary tale. She had the option to be a leader, mentor, and icon who inspired the next generation, but instead she chose toxicity, jealousy, and bitterness. And guess what? The world moved on without her. Caitlin Clark is still, as the WNBA stars pick her up, Sheryl suddenly quits her job. So tell me, was it worth it? If Sheryl's sudden consumption of humble pie wasn't enough, we must also discuss the Aya Wilson meltdown and the bombshell. Sydney Kusun recently fired A.A. Wilson, who has been the WNBA's face for the past few years. She is a two-time MVP, champion, and star. But all of a sudden, she is no longer the star. And guess what? That's an issue. When Caitlin Clark arrived, it took over MVP talks, sponsorship opportunities, and headlines right under Aya's nose. It doesn't matter that AA is an elite player. What matters is that Caitlin Clark is the name everyone is talking about, and behind the scenes, the frustration is boiling over. Then, in a mysterious social media post, Sydney Carlson, a former teammate of Jaws with nothing to lose, lets it rip, saying that some people are upset with Caitlin when the true problem is in their own locker rooms. Wait, Carlson essentially hinted that all of this resentment towards Clark is merely a front for deeper problems within the WNBA, and now people are asking questions. In the meantime, Caitlin Clark is thriving. The league is going above and beyond for her. The money is coming in, the fans are growing, and all the players who once kept their distance are now choosing Caitlin A.A. Wilson. Sheryl Swoopes lost a dangerous game because she believed that trashing a young star would make her more relevant, but instead it cost her credibility, respect, and her job. The reality check is that Sydney Carlson is revealing secrets, and the WNBA is more chaotic than ever. Can you imagine spending months disparaging a rookie and saying she's bad for the league because she's keeping talent away from her team, only for elite players to leave their previous teams to play with her? Sydney Carlson, a reputable veteran, didn't just leave her team for any reason. Instead, she joined forces with Caitlin Clark and chased championships. With that, Sheryl Swoopes' entire argument that Caitlin Clark is scaring players away from the Indiana Fever has been completely disproved. Since day one, Swoops has been relentless in her campaign against Caitlin Clark, and her main claim is that Caitlin is keeping talent away from Indiana because she claimed with such assurance that players don't want to play with her because she is better than them, as though WNBA players are egotistical and would prefer to stay at home rather than compete against a generational talent. However, that was untrue because if it were, Sydney Carlson would be running toward Caitlin Clark rather than away from her. Sydney Carlson had several choices. Let that sink in. She left the Las Vegas Aces for a chance to play alongside Caitlin Clark despite being a seasoned player, a well-respected role player, and a terrific locker room presence. Chelsea Gray and Kelsey Plum, two players who have dominated the league, joined the rookie Low Indiana Fever squad because she believes Caitlin Clark has the potential to be great and isn't just a media hype machine. She can lead a team to multiple championships, and now Carlson wants in. This is the exact opposite of what Sheryl Swoopes said would happen. Instead of players fleeing, they're lining up to join the revolution, let's face it. Sydney Carlson leaving a dynasty team to play with Caitlin Clark is not just a loss. It's a complete KO because no one is listening to Sheryl Swoopes anymore. Her credibility has been destroyed, her arguments have no weight, and her legacy has been broken. Sheryl Swoopes just took another brutal. She spent months persuading herself that Caitlin Clark was the issue, that players wouldn't want to play with her, and that she was bad for team chemistry. Sydney Carlson didn't just make a career move. She sent a message to the entire WNBA. Beyond repair, she spent all this time fighting against Caitlin Clark when she should have been supporting her, and now she's on the outside looking in as Caitlin Clark creates something unique while her own influence fades into nothing. Tell me, was all that hate worth it? Caitlin Clark is the future, and Sheryl Swoopes are just another heartbreaking reminder that the league has moved on without her. Since it appears that Caitlin Clark is winning both on and off the court right now, Sheryl, please share your thoughts in the comments below, and remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons. See you in the next one for more WNBA news and drama.